Well, hey there, my friends, and welcome to my channel, Ink and Whimsy. I'm Laura Daniels, and I'm so glad we get to spend this time together. We're going to be using the Take to the Sky Suite Designer Series paper from Stampin' Up! To create a single page layout of a photo that was taken back in 1944, and it's of my Uncle Fred, and it's when he was in the Navy. How cool is that, right? Look at this photo. And he's even in his Cracker Jacks. So we are going to be creating the layout, and we're using the dies and the stamps from Adventurous Skies. It's a cling stamp set, and then it has these dies, and we're going to be using the plane that's been put together. We're going to be using the clouds, so it's a lot of fun. And then here, I've already put them together. Look at this. Isn't that the coolest thing? It just looks so real. And the fun thing about the die cuts is you can use and cut out different pieces of cardstock to create all different color airplanes that you want to use. And here are bits of ephemera that we're going to be using. And look at these right here. Can you see those up close? These are the industrial trinkets that I believe came in this set. It's a collection, and it is an older collection, so I don't have everything together. And then of course I have my journaling and some stamping here that I've done. And the two colors we're going to be using are boho blue and basic gray. So I'm going to clear this stuff out of the way, and we're going to get busy putting this together. So these are the sheets we're going to be using. These right here. Let's move these out of the way. Alrighty, now we need to have this where you can see it, right? Okay. My goal with this single page layout was to create a feeling of nostalgia and going back in time. So even though the airplanes don't necessarily evoke images of the Navy of that time era around World War II, it does represent that. So that's where I was going with it. So one of the first things I want to do is I want to do some tearing along this side right here. And it's important to make sure the image is right side up. So there's the boat. Make sure that I'm the sailboat. It's a little harder to tear a wide piece of paper. So I'm doing my best here. Harder to get a good grip of it, but I see that white core. I just think that looks cool. Okay. All right, so I want this about right here, and I want this strip underneath. I think that looks cool. Reminds me of the water, the Navy. And then this piece right here, instead of this, I think I'm going to put this over on this side. So let's get this set down now. And I want this completely over on the edge. Let's do this. All right. For me, I love scrapbooking old photos. It's during those times when I wish that I had been around at that time, or someone had written down the story. I sent this photo, took a screenshot of it, and sent the photo to my brother and my mom and sister, and said, Mom, what do you remember about the photo? And what was neat about it is that, excuse me, goodness, can't talk and lay down paper at the same time. We're going to put it right there, lift this up, and put that right there. Do we have it now? Kind of, sort of. Right there. All right, we got it. Gosh. Can't talk, lay paper, same time. That's just the way that goes. But what was fun about when I sent this photo to everybody was it really started a great conversation with between my mom just sharing with us what she remembers about the photo. She was only 6 years old at the time. So she couldn't share a lot because, God bless her, I can't remember when I go upstairs and I get upstairs and I go, why did I walk up the stairs? And for her, this was, oh gosh, how many years ago? If it was 1944 and she was 6. So, a long time ago. And, you know, at 6 years old, what are you saying to people? What are you talking to them about? Probably not a lot that you would think, okay, um, these are the questions I want to ask because later I won't remember them. Now I'm going to pause this and I am going to cut this piece of paper down to about 1 to 2.5 because I want to put it right here, maybe even just 2 inches. So I'll be right back. All right, I'm going to place this right under here and I want it to be at about the 8. Yes, I did not plan this very well. You know why? All right, I'll tell you why. The AC went out. The technician came by, and now he says they're not going to be able to fix it for a couple of days. So I am standing up here filming this, and it is about, oh my gosh, it's probably going to go on 80 degrees real quick. So I'm trying to get this filming done. And other than that, I'm having a hard time focusing. Oh my gosh. Let's try. I know why that looks crooked. Here we go. We are going to persevere and we are going to get this. I'm going to get in my groove here in a minute. I promise. It is too funny. There are 3 reasons I will get cranky. If I'm hot, if I'm cold, if I'm hungry. Well, right now I'm hot. I'm getting very hot. It's almost hilarious, really. Woo! Oh, geez. All right, but we are going to move on. And I should have one more tag here. Of course, can't show you everything because it's all a surprise. Let's see. All right, so the first thing I want to do is to take these tags, and I'm going to use a pair of scissors and just go around the edges here to roughen it up because I'm looking for aged, old, when I'm putting this scrapbook page together. We're just going to go along the edge there. You can see how that roughs it up. It really gives it more definition along the edge also. So we're going to put this one about right here. And then I want to grab, and I've got to find it. Could we have any other problems? This goes on one. This goes on one because we're going to put these down here. Here it is. So we have this one and this one, and I'm missing a longer one. I went ahead and I roughed up each of the pieces here that we're going to be laying down. This way, I was being respectful of your time, and you don't have to just watch me do all that stuff. Put this here. And I also I really didn't rough up this because it's an off-white. It might have been harder to see. I was more concerned with the darker colors. And we're going to put something over each of those. And now we're going to put them down here in this corner. All right. So this one will go right here. Then we're going to put this one next to it. Let's see, right here. There we go. I'm going to put this on top. Oh, I love these colors. At first, I had started to introduce the copper clay, and then I realized what I really liked most was just these 3 colors together. Now, before we add the journaling and the first airplane, we're going to do a little bit of smudging right here in the middle. And I'm going to grab a piece of paper that I can dab off onto, because if I go right on here, I'm going to have a big smudge, and I don't want that. Just go lightly, because this is where we're going to have the airplane and the clouds. So he is flying through the sky. We're having a mix of a lot of things. All right, not too much, just that right there to bring in the color. We're going to close this, and we will need one of these colors later. I haven't figured it out yet. All right, so my journaling is right here. And what I did was, after I talked to Mom, I asked her what she remembered about the photo. Mom, what do you remember about Uncle Fred? And he was one of her, Auntie Millie, my grandfather's sister, was her favorite aunt. And okay, funny story. We're all Italian. And whenever we would go to Grandma Olga's, it would be a big plate of spaghetti and meatballs, right? However, egads, Uncle Fred did not like Italian food. He did not like Italian sauce or Italian meatballs. So whenever us kids, and we were real young at the time, whenever we would go to, let me just do this right here. Whenever we go to Uncle Fred and Auntie Millie's house for dinner, we did not have spaghetti and meatballs as Italians would have. We had meatloaf and corn. And I always remember sitting at that little card table in the kitchen, because that's where the kids sat, to eat our meatloaf and stuff. And it was like, I'd always look at it going, oh, this is so not a meatball, and this is not Italian sauce, even when we went with Grandma and Grandpa. But there was a penny candy store just down the road, and we always got to go there. So that did make things a little better, that we got to go to the penny candy store. All right, so right here is about where we're going to put the airplane. And it really doesn't matter which one that I use, but I am going to, oh, you know what? I think this would look great on dimensionals. So that's what we're going to put that on. So let's grab these right here, stick some on there. And then the clouds, I think one of them will be in the background, but one will be on dimensionals. So we'll see how this comes together here real quick. Dropping everything on the floor. That's how I roll. All right. So let's get one of these with some tape, because this is going to go in the background. And I want it about right there, so I've got room to play. And then we're going to lay down our aeroplane. Oh gosh, that looks cool already. I love it. What do you think? All right, I think we're going to need some dimensionals on the bottom of this, because it's the top of it is going to go over the airplane. Oh my gosh, I'm so hot. I am like sweating. All right. Oh, that looks good. Oh my gosh. This is coming together so beautifully. And then we'll put this cloud not on a dimensional. Gosh, dimensionals give things dimension. That was like, as my son would say, Mom, I just had an epiphany. Oh my gosh, I just had an epiphany. It's the purpose of the dimensionals, to give dimension. All right, now look at these. Oh my gosh, those are just awesome. We are going to use art glitter glue to glue these down. This should be interesting because I have to flip it over with my fingers. And I am going to pause the camera while I put all these on, and I will be right back. This heat is seriously muddling my brain. I know y'all must be cracking up. You're watching me put the glue on here and then trying to flip it over like, hello, put the dot of glue right there and lay it on top. So hopefully my muddled head, because I'm just so hot, my brain will start functioning clearly at some point, that we're actually going to be able to film this without me stopping the camera. Like, I cannot tell you how many times I've already stopped the camera and the filming. Oh. However, don't you agree? I think it's looking so neat. I'm so excited. All right, and then we want to do the same thing where we have the dimensionals at the bottom, because it's the top that's going to be on the airplane. Here we go. So let's get this laid down. And we're going to put this about right up here. Can't have, we still got a couple of these. There we go. We can put this under here, trying to make it visually appealing for you. You're not looking at a mess. All right, here we go. because you are sharing a part of your day with me, which I totally appreciate. I always love our time together. Here we go. Whoop. All right, I'm going to set this right here. All right, so there was one time Jerry had gone to a dealership and found me a car. So he brought me there to look at the car, right? And it was like 7, we got there at like 6:30. And you know how guys are when they start talking. So they were just yapping away. And the counter where all the guys were sitting behind and where we were standing, I'm short. And my chin barely touched the top of the counter. And it turned into 7:30 at night. Friends, I had not eaten, but it was also winter time and it was cold because I didn't even bring a sweater, and we were just there talking and talking and talking. Finally, at 5'1 3/4", my hand reaches up over the top of the counter and it slaps the counter. Now, I wasn't being ugly. I was just trying to get their attention. Goodness, they couldn't even see me when I was on the other end of the other side of the counter. So I slapped the counter. And all of a sudden, all the talking stops. I'm just kind of pinching this to give it an old look. And Jerry looks at me. I said, babe, I said, I am cold. I did not bring a sweater. I said, I am tired. It is 7:30 at night. And I said, babe, I said, I am hungry. You need to take me to Provino's. That was it. Jerry slapped the counter. He goes, gotta go, guys. We'll be back. We left. And I was so happy. I had my glass of wine. I had my big dish of macaronis at Provino's, and we were happy there. Oh, my goodness. All this rigmarole. Now, should I turn it? I kind of like the way that looks. This looks too boxy. But why don't we? Maybe we should turn this too. Hold on now. Don't you hate it when I do this? I make you nervous. I know I make myself nervous, and it's such an old photo. I'm probably going to have to cut this out. Oh, my gosh. No, I think I'll just leave it in there just so y'all can see how this stuff gets all messed up. There we go. Okay. All right. We're going to do it this way. We're going to do this like this. We're going to do this. Oh, my gosh. That is perfect. And we did not damage the photo. Thank goodness, because you know what? I would have blamed it on the AC man. I would have said, it is your fault. Oh, it's your fault. Gotta blame somebody. I do need to have that straight. Okay. All right. So I went ahead and did the edges of this to lighten it up. Not lighten it, to emphasize it a little more. We're going to put this right in the middle and this right here. And I want to rough up these edges. I did it with the scissors, but I want to like put like a little tear right there. And I think that's the only place I want to put a tear. Oh yeah, don't want to go crazy here. All right, we're going to put this right here. Oh, it looks good with the tear. Okay, and my straight, it's kind of hard to tell with these lines. All right, and then we have always in my heart. I know. Oh, this was an old close to my heart stamp set that I used to do this title right here. And then we're going to use a glue dot for this right here. But first I want to show you, it's from the old close to my heart stamp set called Dream Maker, and I used always and then right here in my heart. All right, so let's get a couple of glue dots here. And then I'm going to read aloud the journaling. I can read it while I'm putting this on, I'll say. So listen up. Here's the story. So this photo was taken over 81 years ago, back in 1944. So when I was asking my mom for her thoughts about the photo, you can see why she didn't remember a lot, right? Holding it in my hands now, I am incredibly humbled by the passage of time and how, looking back, it seems to all happen in the blink of an eye. Just look at old Uncle Fred in his Cracker Jacks standing next to Grandpa. Mom was only 6 years old when this photo was taken in Canton, Mass., and she said she would play near the fireplace. This was an old fireplace. She would play by the fireplace and draw playhouses in the dirt and pretend she lived in them. She's not sure if Uncle Fred and Auntie Millie was Grandpa's sister, as I said, were married at the time or they were just dating each other, but did say that she thought Uncle Fred was stationed in Norfolk, Virginia, and he did only one tour in the Navy. And then I went on to share the fun part of the story. We're all Italian, loving everything sauce and meatballs, but Uncle Fred never liked it. Oh my gosh, it was so hard for us kids. We'd want spaghetti and meatballs and get meatloaf and corn instead. LOL. We did love going to visit, though, the penny candy store, which was just down the street. Oh my gosh, isn't that a fun story though? It kind of ties everything together. And I'm glad my brother, sister, and I all got to chat about it a bit. All right, so look what I did here. I have 3 tags. Now, this comes in one of the 12 by 12 sheets that had tags on it. So I just cut them out, and I have it all just framing the 12 by 12 single page and this one photo. So look how we have the airplane looking like it's flying, and there's dimension with the clouds. Do you like my hand all over the place? Gosh, Laura. And here's the other airplane. And I think that tearing this really gave this a great look. And then I love how I added the little tear here. I'm just so creative. Oh my gosh. All right, y'all. Thank you for staying with me. God bless you. Have an incredible day. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up because that helps YouTube know that you're watching. I appreciate you, and I cannot wait to hear your thoughts in the comment below. Y'all take care. Stay crafty. Bye-bye.